The following program is rated TV MAL, TV MALS, TV MALSV. It is intended only for mature audiences. Viewer discretion advised.
Can I talk to you about something?
I just had sex. I'm about to eat.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to This Week in BS. I am your host, Justin Proper, and with us today, first off, right to my left or left to my right, whatever it might be, our dick from the UK, Richard. How you doing, man?
Left is right.
I don't know. Everything's backwards nowadays. Speaking of backwards, Wes Moody of the Wes Moody webcast. How you doing, man?
Doing good. How are we all doing here today?
Very depressed.
Where are we? I'm coming out of my depression.
No, when you did the live long and prosper, I'm like, oh, now I'm a little yeah. I've yet to see it, but I've heard interesting things about it.
I saw it.
And also joining us as our guest of honor is Madmartigator. I think that's how you were. What you were going by today.
That's a joke from something else. Sorry.
Okay.
Because somebody in another stream was the Austinator, so I decided to change mine to it made sense in context. Hello.
Well, as we've learned with proper Jenny, you don't transition unless you're sure.
Yeah. Thanks for the reminder. I can never go a stream or anytime I'm with someone. It always gets brought up. It always gets brought up. And speaking of which, now there's a freaking proper Jeremy running around. I don't know who the heck that is, but it's really, really screwing me up.
Improper.
It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
But yes, you were talking about me. Yep. Sorry.
Yeah. Thank you for coming on as our guest of honor.
Well, thank you for having me.
And with us, as always, is the beautiful, lovely Reina Creole. Reina, how you doing today?
Hey, I'm doing good. Glad to be here.
Glad to have you, as always. And last but certainly not least, the man with the great hair, Culture Casino. How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm excited to be here, as always, and I'm here with like some of my best friends, so this is great. I'm excited.
Oh,
I don't know, Mary. I really don't. I guess it's just all the stupid news I've been reading lately, and I really should stop. But I have to do this show, and I like doing it, so I'm happy to do it. Anyways, as always, let's get to the chat. Of course, dislike for waiting. Thank you, Christie. You never fails to disappoint each and every single time. I am impressed. I'm absolutely impressed. Thank you for the, by the way, thank you for the super sticker, everyone. We've got a few of those. Thank you, Christie, for the for the poop emoji. I appreciate that. As always, Mary Mayhem, my YouTube bestie, sent in a super sticker right there. Nice shades there. Thank you. I appreciate that a lot. Everyone, if you haven't heard of Mary Mayhem, who hasn't? Go check her out. She's amazing. It's my YouTube bestie. Runner Studio says, I ship Justin and Alex from Star Wars Explained. Oh, God, that's a long story. Long story short, I met him and Molly at Celebration, and they were very nice to me. Then they blocked me on Twitter, and I don't know why. I don't know why.
What nonsense is that?
I don't know. But I was like, we had a great interaction. What happened? And I'm guessing it's a chain block, but that's a story for another day.
Well, to be fair, Molly probably doesn't want to share him.
Probably not. No, you may not, Mary. No. Still waiting for the McGriddle. I want my money back. Where's my burger and fries? You're a mod, so I'm not going to respond to that. Oh my gosh, Wes, thank you for the super sticker as well.
I've just got to say, I mean, you're the one who's being given the orders, but I'm the one who's in the kitchen.
Okay, cool.
That British humor does it again.
Bring me back a sandwich while you're there, I guess. Thank you, Wes, as always. Sam McCabe is here. Hi, everyone. Good to see you again. Well, good to see you too, Sam. I think it was either Sam or Nick. I'm not sure which one, but there was a funny video that you retweeted that I'm actually going to share later in the show. Oh, yeah, it was you, Sam. So it was, you'll see it in a few, but it really caught me off guard and made my day. And thank you once again, Culture Casino, for the super sticker, the Doomacorn. I greatly appreciate it. You guys don't have to do that. You're on the panel.
Oh yeah.
Seriously, I don't know why you guys do that, but I appreciate it. Me82 says, "LOL, the tale of proper Jenny." Yeah, you were there for all of it. It's good to see you again, man. I really love seeing you in the chat. I love seeing some of the OGs that are in the chat, as well as a lot of new people. You get a nice mix of people who are longtime viewers and people who are just new to the channel and new to this whole community. So I appreciate every single one of you who are in the chat.
And to those who are new, we're sorry.
I'm not anymore. Nick McKay says, "Hey everybody, hope all is well." Well, hope all is well with you too. And Stone Cold Jeremy with the $5 super chat. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. He says, "Hey everyone, hope everyone is having a good day. Keep up the good fight. Cheers." Well, cheers to you, man. All right. I think that's just about everybody's in the chat. So let's go ahead. One more?
Got one more super sticker.
Yeah, we got one more.
Oh, did I?
Yeah, just creeped up.
Did it? Okay, maybe it'll take a second.
Creep's a good thing.
I guess so.
Well, it depends on the context. Right?
Where is it? Oh, thank you, Matt.
Dang it, Christie.
It's a peach and a banana. I wish I could show it, but alas, I cannot. Wait.
Yeah,
let's see if I can do that. Oh my god!
I've seen enough comedies to know where this is going.
Oh my gosh! Is this what the chat's going to turn into today? Is this what we're going to do?
Yeah.
Oh my god!
Yeah. Yeah.
Nothing. Yeah, I'm sure it doesn't. Oh my god, Runner, stop it. Oh man, we are so getting demonetized. Oh my god. Well, anyways.
I'm concerned about Wes's. I mean, what happens when the banana runs empty?
Oh my god, Wes, no.
Wow. You went there.
Oh no.
You went there, Wes, with the
I'm kind of concerned about the Michigan emblem you have in the background here.
I'm not concerned. I lost the debate. I have to do it for a while. It's okay.
Really? Is that the punishment?
Yeah. Oh, it's all good. I'm a man of my words. So, anyways, thank you all for the hilarious. Oh my god, this chat is insane. I love you guys. Anyways, let's get started with this bullshit. First and foremost, as most people know, I'm a member of the Park Hoppin channel. I haven't seen any coverage of this yet, so let me be the first one to talk about this. Splash Mountain. So Splash Mountain, the one that's getting all revamped pretty soon, apparently it started sinking today. Or I think a couple days ago. But basically what happened was, if you see in this video, people had to be evacuated because it was submerged underwater. Basically just started sinking and they got out. Rightfully so. I didn't even know that could happen or it could go that deep.
So what? It's like a hole in the freaking barge? I've never heard of that as many times as I've been on this particular attraction.
I understand you're 6 feet underwater, but standing on the side is a safety hazard. Thank you, Quarter Black Garrett. Oh my gosh. So this is apparently what happened, according to the evacuee. They said, "We were almost at the end of the ride. We started to notice the boat taking on water after the final drop. Towards the end, the log stopped and it got stuck. We waited for a while, but the log started sinking and filling with water. It was then we jumped out. As soon as we stepped out, the whole log was pretty much submerged underwater. The cast member that came to evacuate us was very unprofessional and lectured us about staying in the boat, even though it clearly was not safe for us to stay seated in a boat that was submerging. We spoke with management staff and staff at guest relations, and they were very professional, but the initial cast member wasn't either helpful or professional. Okay, so yeah, I've never heard of this happening before.
I'm sorry, Culture, go ahead.
Yes,
you got this. Go ahead.
This has happened a few times, both in California and Florida. Depending upon the log design, there is a drain plug in them, which is secured like you wouldn't believe. So there's no reason for it to come out. But there's been a history of these water flume vehicles is having they will split along two different seams. Yeah, I know, Lorena, it's confusing, but it has happened before.
Go ahead.
No, it was just it happened shortly after the attraction was first built. And then it happened again a little over 12 or 13 years ago. I'd have to look it up again, but and supposedly it's happened more often than that. But it is not uncommon. Uncommon is not the right word. It has happened before. It's not unprecedented. That's the word I was looking for. So, but you would only get about this deep in if you had remained seating in there. But nobody in their right mind is going to stay sitting in that log, with chest high water,
Especially if you've never been on that particular ride before, which I have several times. I usually get splashed with water before you get inside instead of in there. Plus, some people don't realize there really isn't that much water in the attraction itself. So when they're on this log ride, they think it's like 10 feet of water or something like that under them, and that's not the case. So is this like a maintenance issue? Because I have never. Yeah. It doesn't make any sense to me that this would happen.
Sounds like a design flaw.
No. They're very well designed.
Yeah.
Other than the occasional sinking, that is.
What hasn't Disney had quite a few issues with their rides lately?
Well, lately is an interesting word. They've had several. They've had several incidents. I mean, in fact, they've had problems with ride vehicles going on now for close to 15 years. But it's not. These are varying different types of ride vehicles. They even kind of destroyed one of their safari trucks because they put it on a flatbed and went under an underpass and destroyed the whole top of it not too long ago. So, but. Yeah, they, all kinds of stuff. And again, this happens to be one of the areas I have a little bit of information on. So, but they've had monorail collisions at Disney World. They've had more than the famous one that had resulted in someone's demise.
Yeah.
But this does happen. It happens in every type of theme park, amusement park across the entire globe. So it's not again, the word unprecedented is what pops to mind. But these logs will split along two different seams. It's happened before. It happened during testing way back. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, you're always going to have a percentage of failure rate, which means it should be very rare on occasion that it'll fail. So they're not infallible, but something like this would happen probably once in a while. You're always going to have that failure rate. But the thing that cracks me up, because I've been on Pirates of the Caribbean where something happened and they had to evacuate us, and the cast members are very professional about it. They're like, hey, here's a fast pass for anybody in the park coming back. Cracks me up is that this cast member either didn't know the freaking procedure or what. Then again, we're going by what this person said, because if they're saying the cast member was unprofessional, they might not like how they were telling them, hey, you need to get out. They may call that unprofessional. I don't know.
Well, it depends to what extent they vacated the ride vehicle. If they started to explore or go play with some of the animatronics or whatever, they're not on the right side to do that in this location, because you're right after you're at the celebration scene with the boat and everything else, and the closest exit point is on the opposite side of where all the animatronics are. But I've been exited off of this attraction, and I've been backstage on this attraction multiple times. I've been in the maintenance area and all of that, and seen how they get the logs out and all the maintenance procedures that are done. In fact, recently I got an opportunity to see a lot of interesting backstage stuff. But I can tell you that this does happen from time to time. So, but not as often as some other amusement parks. Log flume rides, they fail.
I don't think anybody's denying that at all. I know things happen, but it was just kind of surprising, and it was a little fun thing that I happened to pick up on just the other day. So, yeah. Yeah, Matt, do you have any comments in Splash Mountain?
Yes.
Okay. Would you like to share one of them?
Sure. It's not as interesting as the dude that lost his head. I don't know if y'all remember this, but and it was his fault because he climbed over the fence.
Mountain?
They was like, hey, don't climb over this fence. And then he climbed over another one's like, they're like, seriously, you could be kicked in the head and you could be decapitated. Do not pass this sign. And he passed that sign. And then some chick was on the ride and just punted his head, and it was gone. I don't know if it was gone, but she broke her leg. Could you imagine having to tell people they're like, oh, what happened to your leg? Well, I was on this ride. And
the Darwin Award winner right there. And that's actually a pretty decent transition because there's something I wanted to bring up a little bit ago.
Here to help.
Oh my gosh, maybe I got rid of it, but it's one of those that really just kind of surprised the heck out of me.
I just get concerned when you mention transitioning.
Oh, of course you do. I can't find it at the moment, so we'll get back to it later. But there's something that I wanted to point out. Any other comments on Splash Mountain before we move on?
No, I mean this kind of stuff happens. Replacement pants. You know what? At Disney, they probably would have gotten them, depending on how nice you are to guest relations. So I've seen them do some amazing compensation. So
yeah, that's right.
The one folks were saying we're racist, yes, which is BS, because that whole ride is based on folktales that actually my grandmother used to tell me. So you mean to tell me she's racist? I don't think so.
Internalized racism. Maybe.
By the way, speaking of the Darwin Award winners, this is the better transition now. We have our Florida Man of the Week, who's clinging to the hood of a big rig truck, and driver says he lost it. So as we can see in the footage down below, there's literally a guy who I don't know if he's. Wait, he might be naked, so I may not want to show
No, he's
it.
not. He's not.
No, he's
it's
not
just tiny shorts.
Oh, okay, good.
Oh my God, what part of I-95 is this? Please say South Florida.
I don't know, but either way, there's a lot of people who were who caught this on tape. This is another angle. He's just yelling at him, and it wasn't really. It was even weirder. Was that
ladies' clothes?
It's
Let's see.
I thought that at first, but I think the shirt has just the wind has blown it up, so it looks like a halter top.
It's like a bad comedy cross with Terminator 2.
Yeah. Oh my God. The one that just came out. I think there was something like that happened.
We don't talk about that one.
This is something that I would expect in a vacation movie. Like, not even a joke. I don't. Yeah. Like, just imagine Chevy Chase on it. It's hilarious.
Meth or bath salts.
Yeah.
You know what? I wouldn't be surprised if it was neither.
So
illness.
This is giving a little bit more context on everything. So he basically just, for no reason, got on the hood of his truck and started causing a ruckus, seemingly for no reason. The driver told TMZ, this dude hopped onto the interstate, bloodied and frantic, waving for the truck to stop, which Hughes says he did. Once he did that, Hughes claimed the guy latched onto his hood and started using a metal object on his windshield. He says
him stopping was the first thing.
Well,
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, because in the top video, in the top picture, I mean, the glass is smashed, and I was trying to figure out if that was actually blood on there or if that was tomato sauce.
No, that was blood.
Yeah.
But
but
yeah,
still,
basically tried to
it's on the
shake him
window.
off, and he was on that truck, by the way, for over 9 miles. On the
Wow.
Damn,
Over
well,
9 miles.
He looks so
That's one way to-
calm.
that's one
Like-
way to catch a ride.
I
He's
know.
on the hood of
You
this
know?
truck, and the truck is trying to like slam the brakes and knock him off, and he's just like, "Nah, bro, I'm not going anywhere."
I take it this dude's done this before.
Look, I know we all love Indiana Jones, but this ain't the way to do it.
Yeah, you know, some
I
dude dressed up in
speak-
his Daisy Dukes and his halter top, just jumping on semis.
I mean, speak for yourself.
Oh God.
I mean, it certainly worked for this
Broward
guy.
County.
Broward.
Yeah, I'm blaming it on Broward County.
Certainly worked on this guy.
Yeah. Well, anyways, Lorena, what do you have to say? I'm sorry.
Just another day in Florida, man. And like I said, dude's first mistake was stopping in the first place.
I completely agree. By the way, I didn't get to this earlier, but thank you, Culture Casino and Christie, for the super stickers again. I'm just going to show that real quick. Oh my gosh. Thank you. I like the little story that's going on with the super stickers. It's pretty great. Thank you, Mad, for starting that.
Yeah.
Oh my yum. Oh god. Oh wow. This is just absolutely nuts. But I love every single moment of it.
This is why we abandoned America.
Right. Anyways,
Abandoned
anyways,
America.
Y'all went kicking and screaming, dude.
if you guys are just joining us here, this is This Week in Bullshit. My name is Justin Proper, and I do this every Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern, and I also do Park Hoppin on the Park Hoppin channel. That's a lot of fun. Go check out those videos. And Thomas Gilkey. Thomas, thank you so much
Thomas.
for chat. It's going to take a second for it to show up in the regular chat. But Thomas Gilkey says, "Hail all incredible people. Thank you for all that you do. Voices are heard. Subscribe to Culture Casino for better content than Justin." Oh, take K. You're not kidding. I know it's... Mary says it looks kind of fun.
Riding around on the truck like that? I don't know.
Well,
Hanging up in a truck with flies hitting you in the back of the head. I not on a semi, maybe on top of a limo, but not a semi.
If it was like love bug season and you're like riding up there on that windshield,
Oh,
I don't know. I mean, over here.
yeah.
But thank you so much, Thomas, once again for the super chat. That's really nice of you. And in classic Thomas fashion, tells people to go subscribe to somebody else. I love it. I love it, man.
thank you.
I appreciate you. I'm gonna have you back on the show pretty soon. Yeah. So our first main story after this, Florida man.
He's styling.
Love how he's just like, "What are you looking at?"
You
were looking at- And the driver's like, "What the fuck, dude?" He's like,
Does he
Oh
have
my
a? Does he have a hook? Not what the shell necklace. What are they called?
I don't know.
Hookah
Everybody
shell.
wore them and like
He's
the-
got
I've
some
just
bling
seen him
on
at the tourist
Hookah.
trap shops.
Hookah. Still
yeah,
puka.
puka. Yes,
Puka.
yes.
I don't know.
I think
Let's
I
say
like
yes. Yeah.
I look, that's a lot rat right there. So that trucker probably didn't,
I'm gonna cosplay as this guy at the next convention I go to. No, I'm not.
that's kind of late.
that trucker didn't complete the financial transaction. That's all I'm saying.
Oh my gosh.
That is the ugliest
funny that you
lot
say that.
lizard I've ever seen.
I'm waiting to hear back from one of my sources because I got a little tip that he may have been chasing this guy down because he owed him money. So it may be like a road twitch situation.
Really? I did not know that.
That'd be
That's
interesting.
really strange.
Interesting.
I'm
I
waiting-
don't
I'm
even
waiting on my
know
source
what to
get
say
back to me
about
on By the way, that road twitch, that's a reference to Maximum Overdrive. Thought it was appropriate.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't seen Maximum Overdrive in a long time. I've listened to the soundtrack recently by my favorite band of all time, best credit in any movie, music by AC/DC. Thank you very much. That's honestly the only reason why I liked the movie. But
It's great.
it's underrated. Stephen King done right.
Don't make me a widow on my wedding night.
We made you.
I'm actually starting to hate it when movies use a lot of sort of famous songs in their soundtrack.
I don't think they do that as much anymore.
Well, they composed the whole thing.
Yeah.
So they didn't just use the songs; they actually did the whole soundtrack. Anyways, Wes, do you have anything to add on to?
No, I don't know what else to say about it.
I think everything's kind of been
Picture is worth 1,000 words, folks.
Well, you can
agree.
Well, I mean, if that money thing was real, I mean, you can't expect the cops to stop anybody these days.
No, I said, Thomas, that you are the nicest asshole I've ever met. The nicest one, not the biggest one. No, not even close. But anyways, we love you anyways, Thomas.
From that story, though, apparently that man was driving a Toyota SUV on the other side of the highway, and he was riding with a passenger who said that all of a sudden he started to act odd, and then got out of the vehicle and went to the northbound lanes, caused slowing, and then jumped on the hood of this vehicle.
He just changed. Like,
it's Florida. It's hot. You know?
I feel like a 28 days later scenario is like creeping up on us, and we do not like realize it yet.
It all started in Florida. Started with the guy that
I don't know. I mean,
mental pareidolia, and that I want this story to make more sense than it is. Like, I want the truck driver to be running drugs for the CIA, and this guy to be like, you're
demanding a plot twist.
In a way, it would kind of be funny if he thought he recognized the truck, only to realize it was the wrong truck later on.
9 miles down the road, he's like, "My bad.
Give me my drugs."
You're someone else.
You know, I'm sorry. It's like I can't really say this is the weirdest crap I've seen because I lived in LA for 5 years and saw some crazy crap out there. This is tame.
I don't know. It's still Florida. I think this guy probably planted those seeds from China, and whatever was those seeds.
Probably, you know.
Oh, that story was weird.
Decided he'd try a couple.
Oh man, I don't even want to think about that anymore. So there's no way to properly transition except for the fact that it's just there's a lot of ridiculous crap that happened this week. Those were just some of the minor things that happened. This one just kind of took me a little by surprise. So Gina Carano from The Mandalorian was accused of racism for sharing a certain photo of this is a rally, and that guy is not he's not having it. He's not having any of it. Actually, a lot of it had to do with somebody who was, I think, dating at the time. And she was just like, hey, this is probably not a good thing for you to do. And then he was like, oh, maybe you're right. So it was kind of it was an interesting, story of, not just going along with any narrative that's just presented to you. Kind of not unlike the situation that we're in today. So it's very relevant.
It's interesting because the post she makes can actually be taken either way. It could be "Don't be a Nazi" or "Don't be a sheep who gets swept up in the sort of social, political bullshit going on."
And that's how I took it, Richard. Just don't get caught up in what everyone else is doing.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way I interpreted it too.
Either way,
be the guy that's just like, nope, I'm not going along with it.
Yeah.
Whatever.
And what that's basically what it was saying. And then there were people who were, just saying terrible things. Like, you literally could have picked a better picture to show whatever you wanted to show that didn't have freaking Nazis on it. I don't know what that means, and I'm not going to ask what that means. What the fuck? Girl, you got some explaining to do, because I don't know. In 2020, could kept that at the that guy can't even English.
I mean, Gina Carano,
going on there.
I mean, back in the day, Gina Carano portrayed a Soviet agent in Command and Conquer, so I'm surprised they haven't gone after her for that.
I don't know. They're gonna go after everybody eventually. Nobody's safe.
No.
But luckily, she did not back down, and she did not apologize to the woke Twitter crowd, and gave more context to the story, saying, heartbreaking and powerful story of a man who changed his ways for the woman he loved. Love changes the world one person at a time.
Mm-hmm.
And then she went and said, dear trolls, but make sure you keep checking in from all of your 12 other fake accounts, you cowards. I'm glad you stopped following me. It's like the trash took itself out. Just all these trolls. She just basically just gives a big middle finger in probably the best way she possibly could have. And I just want to congratulate Gina on standing up to the Twitter crowd.
Because it was
not giving in.
It was
unlike,
awesome.
Yeah. What were you going to say?
I was going to say,
a lot more of that.
I had seen this because I was watching this because I saw one of the tweets come through where she had basically said, I don't think it was this one, where she had that one right there. That one right there. Because she said that I'm sorry. And I replied back to her. I said, no, you have nothing to be sorry for. Because you had people all up in her mention saying, well, if you're not racist, you need to, support Black Lives Matter, or say you support Black Lives Matter in order to say you're not racist. And I said, what kind of freaking sense does that make? And I literally said, I don't support Black Lives Matter, the Shakedown organization. Does that make me racist? It was freaking ridiculous, the kind of BS crap and litmus tests. I call it BS litmus tests. They were coming up for her. So I'm glad she pushed back on that, because that was freaking nonsense. Absolute nonsense.
I know.
The whole thing's, the whole thing's interesting because, if you are that stupid that you can't tell the message she's trying to portray, then it's not her who's at fault.
Right.
Well, well, let's take it to its logical conclusion, too. What's happened in the past to people that have done what these people tell them to do? Do they stop? They don't stop. They're like, you should have done it sooner, or you don't really believe it.
Yeah, there's always another inch.
Or you're just apologizing because you were called out. You're not really sorry for it. What about all of these other problematic things that you've done? What about all of that? And it just never ends. It just we've proven time and time again you can't satisfy these fucking lunatics.
The line must be drawn here, this far, no farther.
Yeah, you never bow to the mob, ever. You don't bow, you don't apologize.
Matt, what do you think about this?
A few things. One, she's a total racist. I don't know why y'all can't see that. I'm glad. I'm glad she didn't bend the knee. That's great. Her and Trader Joe's, they should be commended for making that stand when so few have within that.
Trader Joe's didn't back down with their freaking product labels.
They're like, no, dum-dums, this is funny. Like, we're going to keep doing it. Like, right on. Like, I immediately told my girlfriend, I'm like, we are going to Trader Joe's. What is that place? How do I get there? Because I had no idea. She's like, oh, it's all healthy food. I'm like, in spirit, we are going to support.
No, it's
Trader
not
Joe's.
healthy food. I had I get calorie bombs from Trader Joe's regularly. But just had some Trader Ming's barbecue chicken last night.
I'll be honest.
Trader Jose's tacos.
Trader Ming.
Trader Giotto's pizza. That thing is the bomb.
Trader Ming. They had Trader Ming too. I love it.
It's wrong, man. But it's so good.
Mm-hmm.
Man, this kind of thing makes me respect, the kind of like, it reminded me the other day, like, I respect people who are just straight up in your face assholes just a little bit more than people who bend the knee to all these people. Like, do you ever think that Gene Simmons is ever going to apologize for the shit that he says? No way in hell. Never.
Better not.
He's an unapologetic asshole, and I love it. Even though he is a dick.
We say that, but at the same time, Ryan Reynolds did that abrupt 180 the other day.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
For what?
For getting married. For getting married on a plantation, what was it, 8 years ago?
Oh God, that's such BS. Plantations make so much money doing that. That's get out of here.
I didn't really follow that story. I don't understand.
I mean, first you take away their workers, and now you're going to take away their weddings. Can the plantations get a break?
Well, I mean, hey, these people hate families.
Yeah, and it's strange is that these people kept on. I don't know who this person is. They're nuts to me.
No, I replied to them. They never replied back to me.
They said no one is bullying you. You've shaded the BLM movement. You blocked people commenting on your posts. If you're not racist, and prove us, because that looks pretty racist to me.
He has to prove anything to you.
No, and you don't even know the proper definition of what a racist is. So this just proves how stupid you are.
Well, but that's because you don't know the new definition of racism. It's changed.
Oh, it's changed. Keeps changing.
It's whatever some triggered snowflake on the internet says it is.
But see, now it's not enough not to be racist. Now you need to be anti-racist.
What?
No. Yes.
Where was that confab held?
No, it's not about being anti-racist. You've got to be so anti-racist that you see it in everything and scream about it constantly. Yeah. It's not just being anti-racist or anti-sexist.
I don't even
Orville Redenbacher popcorn, huh? That sounds German. You know what the Germans did.
Oh God, it just never ends, and they are they're still going about it. They're still going on about it. It's
and they don't have
ridiculous.
A China.
It's absolutely ridiculous. Something happened with the chat. I can't see it anymore, but I pulled it up in another window, so I see you guys. So if I missed anything, let me know, because StreamYards is acting a little weird.
I don't have a chat.
Yeah, I don't have a chat in StreamYard.
Yeah, well, at any rate,
it's setting you could do. It is kind of nice being able to see the private chat. I don't know.
Yeah, but anyways, it's fine. But yeah, I'm happy that she stuck to her principles and still has, even if people continue to harass her. And Tugs was featured in the article. Yay! Showing support. Saying we stand with you.
I like the Senate's comment in the chat.
Oh, what did he say?
My milk is white and I drank it. Does that mean I'm drinking white supremacy?
Yes.
What?
Well, if you remember, I can't remember if it was last week. I made a rather similar comment to a lot of white meat that I've got in my freezer.
I got nothing on that. Well, okay, we're gonna move the fuck on.
You're drinking white supremacy, but you're also exploiting animals.
Oh my
gosh. That's
anyways,
actually rape. You're raping them for that milk.
Oh God, stop it. Just stop it. We don't want to hear any more about it. But anyways, Lorena, so this is the only person who had some opinions on everything that's been going on. Gina's on one side, but our favorite talk show or former talk show, I don't know anymore. She has her own thing or something, not sure. Oprah.
Oh.
So Oprah was called out for saying that she's laid on the front for calling out white privilege since she's so rich. So she was having a conversation on her show with one of her guests, and the guest said, "Not all white people have power. There's plenty of poor working class white people, but I think that when we group all of white people together and we don't recognize the fact that there's a lot of white people that struggle." And it's a different struggle, as you mentioned, because they're not streaming upstream, let's call it. I think that if we're going to come together and really attack racism and the inequities that are in this country and are in this world, then it's important not to group all white people. Yeah, you know what?
Absolutely.
Replace white people with black people or any person, any race, and it works. Almost the same.
I just don't. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I was going to say I don't get where does this idea come from that all white people are either rich or well off, or that they don't struggle? Because I know a lot of white people who were not rich. My grandparents knew a whole lot of really poor white people, and they all lived down there. A lot of people call it the racist South. They all lived in the same neighborhood, all helped each other out pretty much for the most part. Where are they getting this idea? It makes zero sense to me.
It's important to highlight the wording that was used, which the important word would be inequities, because it is used almost interchangeable with inequalities, but it means something vastly different. And this is kind of the wordplay that you're going to see a lot when it comes to these type of things. When they say equity, it's a new meaning that they have, and it is about having not equality. It's because white people are privileged, even though they may end up poor, they have a higher or a further along starting point than black people, right? So inequity, inequitable, right? So they want equity, which means that they are underprivileged communities are giving a leg up by moving them forward along to almost match where white people naturally start off.
Okay. So here's the problem that I have with that. So I'm sorry. Go ahead, Wes.
It's a classic bait and switch tactic. Equity sounds like equality, and basically it's the $50 word version of fairness. And they want to determine what fairness is, and their goalposts are always moving. Who determines what fairness is?
Exactly. And the thing that pisses me off with this is that, and I'm trying to remember my point because I got thrown off. This thing with inequities or whatever it is that they want to use. Okay. Now they're equating that with quote unquote white supremacy. And the problem that I have with that is that white supremacy is basically just another word for a black underachievement. Before it was black people can't achieve the same thing as white people. And then that happened. So now they push the goalpost. You can't succeed because of quote unquote white supremacy. So why not even, don't even bother trying, because they don't talk about all of the black people who are rich, all the ones who aren't rich, but they're further ahead, the one that pushed their kids ahead. You don't hear about that. And for some of these programs, because I've had to work with them, who want to so-called lift the lower classes of black people, they don't want the ones who are self-starters. They don't want the ones who don't need the standard lowered. And one of the reasons that I can talk to that is because I remember in grad school, I applied for a minority scholarship. Do you know I didn't get it? And do you know the reason why I didn't get it? Because my scores were too high. They were too high, and I wasn't somebody that they can control. So you tell me that it's rigged. It's completely and totally rigged. And it's a slap in the face to all the people who, regardless of what their background is, they just want a fair shake and they just want a fair try, and they don't need someone swiping in to save them.
Yeah, and that's very well said. And I think once again, I really do think that this could be applied to any group, really. Almost any group, vaguely, in a vague way. Like, I honestly think it has a lot more to do with just how they are, how they are off financially. I think it's more socioeconomic, if you will. I more so than it is about, what color skin you are. Like, yes, yes, there are people who are bigoted. That's something that is that's obvious. There are people who, think that they're better than somebody else because of the color of their skin, or, they judge people based on it. And, more so, it's coming from just being fueled this time and time again by rich celebrities who just kind of want, the middle class and, the lower class to just keep fighting amongst each other and just kind of laugh about it. These self-righteous people who, do fuck all sometimes for their communities, whatever you want to say it. But it's just really insulting. And honestly, I would argue that, let's say Oprah's kids or Will Smith's kids are probably a lot more privileged than poor white family that lives in Alabama.
Definitely are. They definitely are. But one of the things also to remember is that it's an election year.
And that's why it's all happening again.
And they want to keep the black vote by any means necessary. It's what? Yeah. Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she goes on and she says there are white people who are not as powerful as the system of white people.
I'm kind of just an aside here. I'm kind of surprised we haven't had any more craziness.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised too. Nothing. What?
To what degree? Like what? There's crazy shit that happened. Like I don't know. You heard what's happening in Portland, but like they went to that lady's house for wearing a bracelet.
I don't even want to get into that, to be honest.
Well, I'm just saying, like, there's crazy shit happening.
There is. Anyways, so I'm going to read a few super chats that came in. And first off, Sam McCabe, thank you so much for the Australian 30. You don't have to do this every stream, but I always appreciate it. He says, just in case the stream gets yanked. I appreciate that. I think it's a very, it might be possible. So who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? I really appreciate you and Nick coming in every stream and just being so supportive. I mean, it really warms my heart. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for being here. And Entertainment and Star Wars says, hail panel and chat. Justin is properly awesome. Well, thank you, Rob, and I hope everything's going well for you back at home. I know it was a little rough lately, so I'm glad that things are going okay. And perhaps, once this all passes, you'll come back and everything's going to be fine. So, yeah, appreciate you, Rob. Nick with an Australian 30. Thank you so much. He said, collectivist mentality. All it does is hold people back and diminish individual responsibility. Anywho, have some cash. I appreciate it so much. And a collective mentality, even whether it's good or bad, it's not, it really shouldn't, you shouldn't not at least question everything that's going on. You don't have to, go along with everything. I'm saying, group thought can be very dangerous. And what could start out as something that's well-intentioned can always turn out and be a complete disaster. We've seen that time and time again, and we continue to see it every single day. So, having that mentality is not healthy for you. Anyways, I don't want to really talk about Oprah anymore. I'm kind of sick.
Thank you. I'm tired of that chick.
Yeah, I am too. But
stay tuned for conspiracy or conspiracy.
I'm just got this kind of thought briefly. I mean, this guy who was making the comments, I mean, he says such, for lack of a better term, common sense things regarding equality, basically, and how it should be split rather than how those in charge like to split it. Mm-hmm. It's such a common sense approach, but it's almost treated like some kind of grand revelation, which says a lot about how far we've fallen already as a society.
I completely agree. Yeah. I don't know if it's going to get worse before it gets better. For sure.
God, I hope not.
Always.
Also, it's important to keep in mind that this change that we see is very small in comparison to like the big picture. Like, there is this vast amount of people across this country that have no idea what is happening for a lot of these things. Now they're starting to see it because it's infiltrating more areas of their life that they pay attention to. But for the most part, I think people are just like going about their day like, COVID, right? You know. So I don't think all is lost, is what I'm saying. Like I think there's plenty still to be to
wake up,
be
normies. Wake up.
Yeah.
Yeah. The
We're
veil.
We're not
Okay.
dead yet.
The veil.
Yes.
The veil of ignorance is often used as a way for the people on the left to explain why we have a progressive tax structure, and the argument has always been that you never know. What side of the veil you'll be on. So the citizens that are making the choices about their society make them from their original position of equality and their ignorance without knowing what gender, race, abilities, tastes, wealth, or position in society that they will have. This is something that Rawls came up with as a kind of a balance of morality when they were making decisions about fairness of applications of social contracts and things like that. Thomas Jefferson, along with Rawls, kind of followed this process at one point in time. But when you start to apply that to the other social elements, that argument will continually break down because you never know what you're born into. So, but that's always been the argument for a progressive tax policy here in this country. And if you apply it to the other aspects of society, especially here in the United States, the argument starts to break down rather quickly because while, yes, you don't know into what the next generation will be born into or what someone else in society you're developing this for, everybody has whatever struggle they have on the day that they're born. And believe it or not, people born into wealth and privilege, let's use those words, they have a struggle of their own. It's not a matter of resources to them. It's combating the complacency that comes with those resources because you have the third generation. Think about it. The third generation business owner is most likely to make that business fail because they didn't have to earn it. They never had to provide, a beginning and end of it. So there you go. Anyway.
I would have to agree with you, Culture, because with researching one part of my family, like the 1/3 great grandfather who basically they were freaking Kennedy rich and they moved to Florida after the Civil War. Looking at their records, they were freaking filthy rich. By the time the grandchildren got their hands on that money, it was gone. They were destitute and had to sell off assets. So I just looking through those records, I was just like, if I hadn't seen it for myself, I wouldn't really believe what you were saying, but seeing it for myself, it happens.
And it happens, and that's the thing is so your fortunes can change in a heartbeat. I mean, and you could if you're embroiled in war. Think about our official UK Dick's country went through during the Second World War. Their fortunes were extraordinarily positive. And then they weren't anymore. The entire country in most of the cities were in chaos, and the male population was decimated. And there was, your fortunes can change because circumstances in the environment can change. And so, when we make decisions about things, when it comes to things, we need to make them for the betterment of all humanity, and not single out an individual subset of humanity. And anyway, that's all there is to it. So,
I couldn't agree with you more. I couldn't have said it better myself, man. That was brilliant. Oh my gosh, Stone Cold Jeremy dropping a 20 in here, dude. Thank you so much for the super chat. Problem is, there are people who don't want to work for anything. They want it handed to them. There is a story of a Puerto Rican man who came to this country on a raft at age 18. Who is being extorted by BLM for protection money. But I don't know if there was more that you wanted to add to that, but
does that surprise any of us though?
No, because you have a generation of participation trophy winners.
And I think it's a global thing. It's not just in the States, it's everywhere.
Yeah, it's the fact that you would have to, the delayed gratification thing. It's like you have to work for things. It's not always a straight line. You might not always succeed the first time around, but you keep at it, and you'll get there. And you have people now who are just like, why should I have to work for it? You just give it to me.
We've had it too easy for too long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's no way to accomplish. Well, again, there's no way to accomplish fair. There just isn't. Life isn't fair. Your parents and your grandparents and their grandparents have been telling their kids that forever until we got to the last two generations and these helicopter parents that come in and rescue their children from any adversity that they encounter.
And people think that it's supposed to be all about equal outcomes. Not everyone is equal.
No.
Not everyone has the same talents, but they're stuck on this. Because I remember hearing Al Sharpton saying something about we're not going to be satisfied until everything is equal in everybody's house. I'm like,
what?
Well, you know what's not fair is if somebody's not, if somebody doesn't have the talents or the passion for something, to put them in a position, to give them preferences, to get them into a position where it might not be a good fit for them. So if you have the barrier to entry the same for everybody, I think I mentioned it before. Stephen Hawking's never going to be would have never been in the NBA, but you know what? He might have been able to design a robot that could have, that's where his skill set was.
A LeBron James robot? Yeah, or something like that. Or like somebody who is who has all the talents of Michael, Jordan, Kobe, and LeBron all combined into one thing that just dominates the NBA. That'd be crazy. Crazy.
It's almost like when you hear this thing about, the tech industry can't, hire, more minorities. And it's like, look, the skills to be in IT, that's a very, very tight skill set. So the pool's already small. Then you're talking about minorities. That's a pool that's even smaller. Then the people who are actually freaking interested in it, that's an even smaller pool. So it's not always about, you're not actively recruiting minorities or whatever. They're all fighting over all the same ones. There's not enough to go around. There's a scarcity of labor. People seem to not understand that.
Well, there's a talent scarcity too. I mean, there are only a certain segment of people that when they become doctors, they go on to become surgeons, and of them, they go into further specialties. Mm-hmm. So the differential in pay and the opportunity comes out of not just hard work, but the certain amount of intelligence and talent. And that can be said for corporate level positions and everything else. So it's you never. For example, Gary Berghoff. Because we just used someone else, Stephen Hawking. Gary Berghoff played Radar O'Reilly on MASH, right? He was a very talented actor and singer. He wasn't a very nice person, but that's not what I'm going to talk about.
Not everyone who's super talented and becomes famous or anything. A lot of times it can get to their head. So
yeah. But
he was just born douchey. I don't know.
Well, he was very gifted. He could sing, he could dance, he could do a lot of things. But he was born into this world with something called Poland syndrome, which is brachydactyly, which means that he had on one hand he had fingers that were not normal. So if you ever watch that television program, he's in a constant state of trying to hide his hand and his abnormality, because in the military in the Korean War, he would not have been allowed to be in the military because of that birth defect. Wow. But you never are actually exposed to that during the course of the show, and that was done by the producers and everybody involved in that. So if you think about, he was not just in that cast in the television program, he was also in that same role in the movie. Mm-hmm. So but he made the best of what he was given, and he wasn't given. I mean, he wasn't going to play basketball. He wasn't going to throw a baseball. I mean, he had deficiency, but he rose above his deficiency, and that's all. Look. You're born into deficiency. Everybody is. You're born with. Some people have specific disabilities when it comes to learning certain skills. They have difficulty reading, dyslexia, any number of other things. These people encounter these challenges and they rise above them. But right now, and because of it, because we have it so well, we have not had real. I don't want to say suffering. I need the right word. Somebody help me with that. Adversity. Yeah, we haven't. Yeah, that's all right. I guess that's the right word. I've used that an awful lot. I'm trying to shy away.
I'd say that.
How do you mean? Like as a generation,
being chased after by a velociraptor or something like that.
Yeah. Or, you don't have clean. You don't have, like, say, sanitation. You don't have clean water. Your water doesn't come out of a spigot that's all been filtered and fluoridated. It comes from
what that could also bacteria in it. Going back to what we were saying earlier, with a generation of like a family, becomes super rich, and then over time, as some of the businesses are passed on to the kids, they haven't had that same struggle as, let's say, their grandparents or great grandparents had, and perhaps I don't know how much that's happened to the Rockefellers. I hear they're still doing well for some reason, even though they've done nothing for generations.
Well, there's a couple of different routes they go. Some of them kind of sponge on, and some of them sign on to their agenda, and they're the ones. That's a conspiracy thing.
Yeah, it's a weird thing, but I can't imagine that a lot of the young kids, they are not swimming in pools full of money and just absolutely and again, they just sort of live off of it, and they don't have to struggle. They were just born into money, and that was it. That was it for a lot of these people. So a lot of that has to do, maybe that's connected in some ways. Maybe for a lot of families, they've I know my folks do all right. It wasn't easy at first, but it's not like they were ever rich or anything. But we grew up comfortably, and I think I'm doing all right for all things considered. So yeah, I mean, and it also has to do with utilizing what talents that you do have to do what you want to do, and to also do something that's, I don't know, either useful or providing a service. It could be starting a channel. It could be you could be working on a railroad, which doesn't happen as much anymore. But you never know exactly what you are going to be good at, what you're going to enjoy. So you go out and explore life. And a lot of people my generation, we're like the social media generation. A lot of us haven't gone out and done things. We haven't lived life because we're stuck behind a computer or a cell phone playing stupid games and wasting our time. We haven't lived. We haven't even interacted with people. People my generation suck at talking to people and being a human.
Done stuff.
Generalization, but yeah, to go back to your point, going out and exploring and deciding if you like something or failing at it. That's what it's all about. What happens now is you go out, you do it. Oh, well, you're entitled to that, or we need this person in this checkbox, and maybe the person that's put in that position doing the exploration, they don't like that, or they're not good at that, and so they're not allowed to fail.
Or sometimes you can't afford to fail.
And maybe it would be better for them to go off and do something else.
And then you have some people that have their own agenda to make sure that certain people don't fail.
Yeah.
I've had that happen too.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that can either be a good thing or a bad thing, but that's also, but I mean, I kind of interpret that as maybe wait, could you expand on that just a little more? Cause I'm kind of because sure. I think of it as maybe it could either be like a teacher who, just, doesn't give up on somebody and just tries to keep up.
No, that's completely different, because that's for a teacher, that's like their talent, to do.
Or like a role model.
Or like a role model. But when I say that, I would say, we'll say in corporate America, like some of the things that I've seen in corporate America, where they have this one person, we'll call them the anointed one. Okay. They don't know their head from, or their ass from a hole in the wall. They don't. Yep. Everybody knows that they don't. But for whatever reason, they want this person in a particular position, and they will do everything, including blame other people, to keep this person in a particular
just think of one off the top of my head. Say,
oh shoot,
Abrams.
Oh wow. Oh yeah. Yep. It kind of started when I remember I liked the movie Super 8. I thought it was a good movie. I liked it. Spielberg produced it, which
haven't seen it.
He basically done nothing. He didn't have to do anything. But Spielberg, he at one point sent his old film tapes over to JJ and have him edit it when he was 14 years old. What kind of crazy guy does that? You just made E.T. and you're giving your old films to a 14-year-old kid. How do you know this dude? He's pretty much just been raised into this whole, he's had a lot of people like bring him up and prop him up. I guess that's maybe what you were trying to say, Lorena. They were propping.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Prop them up. Like I had to work with a person who did not have the skill set whatsoever to do the job, but there was interest in propping this person up because she was a woman.
Yeah.
Oh,
and that's what they wanted. That's what they wanted. They wanted this particular person who didn't have a clue, not the ones that were actually qualified, who had technical skill. No, this particular person. So they did everything to prop this person up, no matter like Kathleen Kennedy, no matter how much she screwed up, no matter how many software deployments were burning, crashing, blowing up in production, it didn't matter. They just kept propping this person up.
It's funny how these anointed people all end up working together at some point as well.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're all friends. They all hang out at the same cocktail parties. They all mingle with the same people.
Yeah,
it's not about what you know. It's about who you know, really. By the way, before I forget, I saw a super chat. Madmartigan, he had to bow out a few minutes ago. He had something to do, but I want to thank you, Mad, so much for coming on the channel and being our guest of honor. I appreciate it so much. He said, wanted to say thank you to Justin and the rest of the panel for having me on. It was a lot of fun. Also, Wes has a great channel. Everyone subscribe now. Yes, everyone subscribe to everybody on this panel. Well, Richard doesn't have one, so, and I'd say follow him on Twitter, but he doesn't have one anymore. So go check him out. You'll find him on this channel pretty much every Thursday. Yeah. What was that?
Well, I was going to say, and Mad has a great show himself called how does he say it, Wes?
Too far.
Too far. Yeah, you should check out Too Far on his channel.
What?
Yeah, him and Forty and Barbara, they talk about UFO and supernatural stuff. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's fun. They're really cool. Yeah, it's good. It's kind of fun. Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna have to check that out. I don't think I've been familiar with that. Thank you, everybody who's been checking out the channel so far. If you're just joining us, first off, this is This Week in Bullshit. My name's Justin Proper. I'm also on Park Hoppin. And check all of these lovely folks. Their links should be in the description. And also, Christie is modding. And Christie, you're doing an awesome job. Thank you so much for taking the time to do all of this. Hail everybody in the chat and the panel. I appreciate each and every single one of you. If you haven't already, go hit that like button if you're new here. Hit the subscribe button. All that fun shit. You know what to do. Everyone says it. It's pretty much something that you have to say, but I don't know why, because everyone says it anyways. We all know it's going to happen. So, but that's what YouTube wants. So whatever. But anyways, I appreciate it so much. You have no idea. It really. I can't say it enough. So. What the hell were we just talking about before then? But I love
the lady wearing the tutu on stage.
That's what we last remember. Oh my God. I don't want to, you know what? Okay. Well, we'll just talk about a couple more things and then go through a lightning round of all the dumb stuff we are probably not going to get into detail with. Actually, you know what? Let's just look at the dumb stuff. Let's just do that. Why not? I think we're becoming a little bit more lighthearted. This comes from Sam McCabe, who retweeted this. So shout out to you. I don't know what the hell this is, what the context is, but I thought it was just the funniest thing that I've ever seen in my life. What the hell is that? Is that like a giant balloon? It's like, oh my God. And then just and
it's like something from a Cirque du Soleil show,
right? Like somebody's trapped inside it, or And
he's got big balls. She's got big balls. Who's got the biggest balls?
That's funny. That's funny. I'm trying to stop it.
This is brilliant.
Yeah, you know what? I love it. By the way, someone said, can anyone caption this, as I've tried and I can't. I really can't either. Sam says, Violet Beauregard tries new Wonka candy, further testing required. It's a shame that it isn't blue, but it's good enough.
Violet, you're turning violet.
Well, I do need to head off here.
Oh,
well, hey, you know what? Thank you so much, Richard, as always, for coming on our Dick from the UK. For those of you who don't know, Richard has been on more shows that I've had than anybody else. He has been my right-hand man for the longest time, and man, I just can't thank you enough for all the support you've given me in the last almost 2 years. So you're awesome. Deal with it. I don't know. I know you don't like it, but deal with it.
I'm going to offer this question to the chat. I think Justin's been huffing those Canadian fumes ever since he went over to Michigan to have that discussion with John Talks.
What?
You're acting like a sap.
Hey, you know what? I just haven't shown my appreciation, so whatever.
I don't want you to either.
All right. Well, are you gonna fuck off or not?
I'm fucking off. Unfortunately, due to time zones, I've got about 7 hours before I need to get up. So.
All right. Hey, man, I appreciate it either way.
I hope everybody has fun while I'm gone.
Oh, we will. We'll have a lot of fun. Anyways, live long and proper, man. Have a good day, and Lower Decks is awesome. Oh, damn it! He didn't hear it. Damn it!
You seen it yet?
No, I haven't, but I will check it out.
No, I can't. I can't.
I'm going to, and I'm going to with an open eye. It's going to be hard, but
no, I already did. I suffered through Picard. No more CBS access for me.
Cliff Notes version. It's the least worst of the Kurtzman Trek joints.
Wow, that's. I don't know if that's saying a lot.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyway, so aside from a red violet Beauregard, I guess it was a cherry flavored gum or whatever. It was a cherry pie at the end instead of blueberry. So aside from that, LA has threatened to shut off utilities at homes that host big parties during the pandemic. This comes from people like Jake Paul hosting big parties. I don't know about you guys, but I'm torn on this. Yeah, you shouldn't have a lot of people congregating in one area and with masks, without masks at all. But if you're allowed to have protests with thousands of people marching in Beverly Hills, most wearing masks, but still, if you're allowed to congregate all together where there's not very much social distancing, why can't we have a frickin' party? Why can't we?
Here's my thing.
You can't have your cake and eat it too.
No, I'm looking at this second line that says the announcement comes after a deadly shooting. How many deadly shootings have been going on in LA for years?
A lot. These large parties are unsafe and can cost lives. You know what? So do protests.
Yeah, exactly.
Or riots.
Oh, God.
Riots.
Garcetti. Is that the Sun?
Yeah, it's the Sun. Speaking of elitist assholes that that inherit their wealth and power.
Him and Becerra.
So here we go.
Glad I don't live there.
Look,
Oh God.
Look. Here's the thing. Where is the ACLU? They're supposedly an organization that exists to protect your civil liberties.
Mm-hmm.
Part of the civil liberties they are supposed to protect. In fact, it's in the word liberty, liberties. Where are they? No, they're on the side of these, authoritarian asshats. That's what's happened. The ACLU is friggin' worthless now
because they agree with them.
They agree with them politically, or agree with a certain group, certain organizations that are along the same political lining, if you will, for a lack of a better phrase. But yeah, look, I'm just saying, if you're okay with giant protests where there is no social distancing, and even this what is it, Garcetti, whatever the fuck his stupid name is, even says the highest risk settings are large in-person gatherings where it is difficult for individuals to remain spaced at least 6 feet apart, and where face coverings are not worn. And okay, great, apply it to all of them. Don't be selective.
And this is a problem. You cannot apply. This is where the ACLU should be involved, knee deep in this thing, or somebody, because this is in direct opposition to the riots, to protests and everything else. They should be enforcing these same guidelines for all of that. Either that or start firing pepper spray and other things at these people because they're not socially distancing. Because if you're going to roll in and you're going to risk people's health by turning off water and power and any number of other things, which actually can create more chaos than not, then look, none of this makes any sense. This makes me outraged in a way that I'm not prepared for. And if this stuff was going down in my city or in the city that I'm closest to, I would be making a stink in a way that nobody could ignore it. Like right in front of everybody's news bureau, because I would not be fooling around.
Oh, shoot. Makini90, thank you for the super chat. He says, I think the issue is that our generation doesn't understand the fact that failure isn't the end. It's how you learn and get yourself back up when you fall. That's a really great way of putting our conversation that we had earlier. And it's one of those things that, it's about facing adversity, as we were talking about earlier, dealing with failure, dealing with struggles, and struggles aren't going to be the same with everybody. And you don't necessarily have to, go through it. You don't have to get into a huge car accident, have a traumatic brain injury, and then learn to walk again just to, overcome adversity. It doesn't have to be like that. It could be, like standing up to a bully or something like that. It could be anything.
Exactly.
As long as it has some sort of struggle and you learn and you become a better person from it. Learning things the hard way.
Right. That's why Hero's Journey films and TV were so popular, because they showed somebody who had to learn. They didn't always get it right. They wind up losing their mentor. They have to reinvent themselves. They have to learn. And that type of storytelling used to be revered. Now it's just like another movie I won't name. Everything gets handed to them. They don't work for it. Just gets handed to them.
You mean
they just take somebody's name.
Star Wars movie.
Yeah, that
or the Star Trek show.
The Star Trek show.
The very beginning.
Doctor Who.
I don't even.
Charlie's Angels.
That Terminator movie.
Look, this is the problem. First of all, nobody wants spoon-fed stories, which is what we've been getting for the last several years. We want to see the rise above, conquer your fear, beat an impossible enemy. We want to see these things. We want to see growth in our characters. We want to see growth in our stories, because guess what? We have to do it in our personal lives. It's a struggle to survive, or it used to be. When you were born, you had your mortality was not assured. You whether or not you lived or died was not assured. You had a struggle just in your very survival. And think about how many women used to die during childbirth, and think about how many children died during childbirth.
Or even died before the age of 5.
Yeah, or 30 was the length of your lifetime if you were lucky. So let's invest some in the idea that we need to have stories. We need to see early conflict in order to rise above in the future to overcome a greater conflict. Again, failure is part of life, and that's not.
Means that's pretty good.
You said that way earlier, and I was like, I don't know, but it's just, and this is why these stories don't resonate with anybody. It's why the Disney trilogy didn't resonate with anybody. So,
turns out perfection's really boring. And actually, CC, on one of our other streams, we were talking about CGI faces and how they're perfectly symmetrical, and this would be a kind of a logical analogy to that, where you have a perfect character without any adversity.
Yeah.
It's boring. Oh, I'm perfect. Okay, well, all right, thanks. That's boring.
Yeah.
Exactly right. It's exactly right. Yeah, the Fibonacci sequence we're referring to. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, man, it's just like, can you lose once? Like, this is, you don't learn anything if you don't lose the hard way sometimes, or better yet, watch somebody else fail and then learn from them. But it doesn't. What I've learned is that the message doesn't stick to me unless it's like so severe. I'm just like, well, don't do that. But as long as you don't become that guy, that's good. But you can either learn from somebody else or learn from your own experiences. But from what I've learned is that when I have ultimately failed or I've lost something, or if a relationship doesn't go the way I want it to, or a friendship ends, learning from who to trust and who to not trust, it goes with every part of life. And if you don't at least and try to make things or try to different things, you're not gonna learn anything. And it seems like a lot of people just have been floating around in life and not doing what they can to get to the next step, or not having long-term goals because they're busy with being in the now, if you will. It's just a real shame, man. I mean, it really is. And people who don't act like that, of course they're going to have a huge advantage because there's a lot of lazy people out there, and it's easy. It's kind of, I mean, if you just float through life, it's really boring. And, as you said, that's why we don't like these movies. Rey just had everything sort of happen to her, and she already was the greatest Jedi. She was just born that way. Rey, good for fucking you. Ridiculous. And any struggles that she had, we didn't see them. So.
Well, but then you take the character Kylo Ren, who got his ass kicked every single time and did not improve and then died at the end. So where was his character arc? I suck, I continue to suck, and then I'm going to die. Fantastic.
Right.
And the kiss of gratitude was, weak.
It was, yeah. This is why you don't try to please everybody.
Yeah, I guess.
Anyways, we're going on about an hour and a half, so I guess we'll talk about a couple more things, not really too in depth, and we're gonna wrap it up here. But first off, this is one of the funniest articles just the headlines that I saw. A cat is detained for smuggling drugs and SIM cards, escapes Sri Lankan prison. First off, Yes. So this was something that I did not know about. A cat detained in Sri Lanka's main prison for allegedly trying to smuggle drugs and cell phone SIM cards has escaped from custody. I didn't know cats were arrested in Sri Lanka. And why didn't you just put it in a cage? Did you just you left it in the office? Of course it's going to leave. And don't tell me it left with that just hanging around its neck.
Is this a real story?
I think it is.
I can see monkeys doing this because they steal everything over there. But
oh my
cat, no.
A cat was detained for smuggling the cards. While there is no immediate comment from prison authorities, it was, however, gathered from the management of the correctional facility that had reported an increase in incidents of people throwing small packets of drugs, cell phones, and phone chargers over the walls in recent weeks. I got no comment on that, but I'm just saying you did better than the guys who tried to escape Alcatraz. Or maybe because they haven't been heard from ever again. I don't know. Best of luck to the criminal cat.
My cat just likes to sniff catnip and eat and kill mice. Smuggling drugs, I guess, unless it's catnip.
I hope this is fake. I really hope it is.
It's got to be fake.
I hope it is, but I thought it was funny nevertheless. This, however, is definitely not fake. A Nashville man charged with felony theft for taking a $2.95 sausage from Walmart. So he steals. Come on, it's really a sausage. And the reason was because they could not issue him a misdemeanor because due to an FTA and 4 FTBs he has accumulated over the course of the last 5 years.
Yeah, failure to appear in 4.
Should have called this guy.
Or me.
Yeah. Ridiculous.
I'm your Tallahassee DUI attorney.
And he tried to leave without paying for it, and now he has to pay a bond set at $5,000 for a sausage. I think you could manage to pay less in Vegas for sausage, but oh my gosh. Sorry, that was a bad joke. That was terrible. Anyways, yeah. Oh God. And of course, frickin' Ellen. Where do I even begin?
I'm behind on the whole Ellen
She's a horrible person. She treats her employees really badly.
Yep.
Yeah, that's basically. Well, that's the.
It's under investigation. 4 employees say Ellen's "Be Kind" talk show mantra masks a toxic work culture. Dozens of former employees say executive producers engaged in rampant misconduct and harassment. A lot of them.
Oh my.
Oh yeah. I'm not going to repeat any of this. You could read this for yourself. But
my.
It's pretty messed up. And there are people who've been saying for years that Ellen is a garbage person. And all I will say about this is apparently her show is returning in this next year in the fall or something like that. And there were even after rumors that James Corden was going to replace her, like that was a better choice because he's just as much of an asshole prick that she is. I just don't. Why? This is privilege right here, and people just keep getting propped up. Even with all this happening, people continue to defend this person, and I don't understand why. Yet they'll throw someone else just completely under the bus. I don't get it. I don't get where you can pick and choose these things. So I got nothing more to say on that. But the last thing that I think we're going to talk about, I had to. I don't want to talk about it, but we just kind of have to. Frickin' Joe, crazy Uncle Joe is at it again. I don't even. Should I even bother playing the video? It's just.
Well, you're gonna have to specify what he's at. Is he sniffing hair, or is he?
Did you hear about?
He's just back to his, bigoted statements.
Racism.
Yeah, and that too.
Here's what he said. For God's
Sometimes
sake.
he gives you
By the way,
2 of them in the same.
you all know, but most people don't know. Unlike the African American community, with notable exceptions, the Latino community is an incredibly diverse community with incredibly different attitudes about different things.
He just pissed off every freaking Afro-Latino out there too.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Say there are a lot of Afro Latinos. What the hell, man?
Okay, which party is racist? I'm sorry. I just because this man has not stopped doing this now for how long, Lorena? I mean, this has been an assault for how many months?
Oh God, at least 6 to 7. Even more than that. And he's had slip-ups like this when Obama was president.
Well, and I thought this was the cocaine one. This is not even the cocaine one.
Yeah.
What the heck is the cocaine one?
It's not the cocaine one. Asked him if he was on drugs. Yeah.
What?
Why he thought? Yeah.
It was terrible.
Oh.
This really cool black dude was giving a great interview, right? And he asked Biden. I don't want to remember his name. I don't want to. If the hair sniffer makes it into office, we got big problems. But anyway, so he asked. The interviewer asked Joe if he would submit to a cognitive ability test, right? Because Trump had said he'd passed his, and Biden says, "Well, you wouldn't submit before you came on air. You wouldn't submit to a cocaine test, would you?"
What?
Yeah, he said
Yeah.
that. And the guy, I think, was from the National Society of Black Journalists or something.
Yeah. It was. I'm going. Well, do you even know what you just said? I know he's not all there. I mean, he hasn't been all there for a while, but it seems like it's faster down this roller coaster or this ski slope or whatever's happening there.
I believe the word junkie was thrown in there too.
That too.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Both of them. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, see, that's the problem with paraphrasing. I wish Justin had it up there.
You know what? I think I might have it because I asked somebody to send it to me when I'd heard that made. Let me.
Well, obviously he's learned absolutely jack diddly squat since May. If you guys remember this.
Got more questions, but I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black.
Oh my God!
I remember that. Yep.
Why? Yep. Why? This man just
and his handlers let him get away with that. That's the other thing that cracks me up. They just let it slide.
Even Trump called him out.
Anything.
He's like, "Wow, Joe Biden just lost the entire African American community. What a dumb thing to say." Oh my God! Seriously, like, I mean, he's making it easy. Like
I think I found the junkie thing. Hold on.
You did?
I'm
Oh, good.
I'm gonna have to send it to you.
I have not seen this before, so I'm
Share
I'm
it. Just
very
share it.
curious
Share
about it.
Oh, you know what? Yeah. I will.
Oh my
go ahead.
goodness.
I will go ahead and share it because this is. Oh my God, this is freaking gold.
Wes and I were talking about this, I think, last night or the night before.
It was last night.
Man, why?
I had a slightly different take on it than a lot of people. Did Joe Biden just admit to being a cokehead? But
that's the other take that you can take away from it too.
Okay. Yeah, I got it ready.
Oh man,
A cognitive.
No,
test.
I haven't taken the test. Why the hell would I take a test? Come on, man. That's like saying you, before you got in this program, if you take a test where you're taking cocaine or not, what do you think, huh? Are you a junkie?
What do you say to President Trump, who brags about his tests and makes your mental state an issue for voters?
Well, if he can't figure out the difference between an elephant and a lion, I don't know what the hell he's talking about. Did you watch that? Look, come on, man.
You just ignored what he just said. Why did they do this? They just ignored it.
To have
Who the heck is that guy?
with the president or stand with the president in debates. There's going to be plenty of time. And by the way, as I joke with him, I shouldn't say it. I'm going to say something I probably shouldn't say. Anyway.
Say it anyway.
I am very willing to let the American public judge my physical and mental my physical as well as my mental fitness.
This is freaking elder abuse. I just, yeah.
The beginning.
Well, okay.
Again, when he.
Point of personal privilege.
Oh God,
okay.
no, not that shit again.
So I just want to say this because I shared this on Wes's stream when we were talking about this. He has had a speech impediment where he would stutter. And so there is going to be people that are going to march out because this has been ever since he's been a politician, he would have a stutter. And so there are going to be people that are going to march out and say that is what this is. Right. And when he's ridiculous and no, that wasn't a stutter.
No, I've seen people stutter and they just recover, but they're still on the same train of thought. It didn't derail and crash over a cliff. Like
no, but he did call him a junkie. He insinuated, an awful lot there. A stereotypical racist bigot, whatever you throw him out there. I mean, the laundry list of all kinds of bad. And we've seen 3 examples now, thanks to Mr. Justin Proper and Miss Reina Creole, of him being off the rails and insulting his constituency. And if this is the thing, if they go out and support this man. The people that are dyed in the wool, never going to vote for anybody but a candidate that wears blue. I can't help you. It's the same thing. It's the level of hypocrisy is outrageous. Anyway, sorry.
We've had a run-in with vote blue, no matter who hashtag people over the past couple of days. It's been very interesting conversations. Usually devolves into
that.
Usually involves into you're a racist.
Yeah, I saw that.
You've had a lot of run-ins.
I was attempting to engage with some Dreckies because I every once in a while I wouldn't forgive myself if I didn't try and engage in a dialogue with people, just to check against my own personal biases and my own points of view, and unfortunately, they affirmed much of what I thought about Trekkies. So,
wait, hold on. I've heard both terms before. Did you say Trekkies or Dreckies? Like
Dreckies. Yeah.
Okay. What that means?
Hashtag we are Starfleet people.
But it starts with the D though for some reason.
D, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Why? Like Discovery?
I don't know. I thought it was supposed to be kind of like a compound word of like a drag of society and a Trekkie, or maybe a Drew.
The dregs. The dregs. Yeah.
Oh my gosh! I don't even. Now I really have to see this new stupid show. Oh my gosh! But I think anything else that anybody wanted to add on any of the topics that we talked about today? All right, cool.
I don't even know what to say more about Biden. Just like, man, that's what happens. See, again, that's what happens when you have people in privilege that don't really earn it, and they get in there. He was not the right candidate for the Democrats.
No.
And
anybody who's been in power for that long that talks about change and no change has occurred. I mean, it's just like, in all these cities like Minneapolis, all these cities that have blue leadership where they're all being pummeled by riots and civil discourse. Well, actually, that's not right. That word is wrong. Civil unrest. That's probably better. Or just general unrest. How about that? That's even better. So, but all those cities, they've been attacking these same problems with the same leadership for decades, and there's been no progress. So when you continue to bounce your head against a wall for that long and nothing changes, that is not just the definition of insanity. It is complete mental incompetence, and you should be electing different people.
Yeah,
people will tell you anything. They will tell you anything that you want to hear to get into power, and then they will say anything they have to stay in power.
Exactly.
So really, Biden's cognitive decline is actually a gift because we actually get to see what he really thinks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. And
no filter.
And just a little bit of a throwback to a few years back. I don't know if you guys ever heard of this, but it was when I first heard it for the first time. It was quite entertaining to me.
I think I remember this one.
You do?
I think I do.
Now is the time to heed the timeless advice from Teddy Roosevelt. Speak softly and carry a big stick. End of quote. I promise you, the president has a big stick.
Okay, now wait a minute.
Yeah.
Now wait a minute.
I do remember that one because I was like,
Someone was paid to write that on paper or on, in this case, the teleprompter, and have him say that.
mm-hmm. Yeah, and they thought it was okay.
I can't watch anymore.
Oh my God. Well, thank you all so much for being here. I think we're gonna wrap it up. Oh my gosh, that was a nice ending. I like the conversation that we had at the end. It was really good. First and foremost, the lovely Reina Creole. Tell the people what you got going on.
Hey everyone, I'm Reina Creole on Twitter and on YouTube, bringing you that spice to sci-fi analysis and salt to Disney of late. So you can actually find me here at 7 p.m. on Thursdays, This Week in BS. No Queen's Council tonight. A lot of queens, including myself, are kind of like under the weather. So come back next week, except for myself, because I will be gone the next 2 weeks because I will be headed to the crazy land of Florida and to Universal Orlando. Thank you. Old stomping grounds. I'll be fine. Let's see. Tomorrow, 9 a.m. I'll be on Loki's Mornings of Mischief. 9 p.m. tomorrow on Orange Hat Reviews' channel to talk about the third Harry Potter movie. And on Saturday at 7 p.m. on author Stephen Walton's channel for Rogue Entertainment, wrapping up with that. Sunday at 8 p.m. having my Welcome to Florida live stream where some meme fun, find a little bit of history about my family in Spanish colonial Florida because I'm actually doing family research while I'm in Florida. Invited Culture to be on the show, so hopefully he will drop in and join us. And you can also find me on Monday at 10 p.m. on Toxic Femininity over on Midnight's Edge. And then I will actually be taking a break for a freaking while.
You deserve one. You're a hard working lady. So yeah, you deserve a break. And I hope you enjoy your vacation at Universal. Hopefully you'll run into the park hopping team.
Hopefully, I'm hoping to maybe do a couple of pop-up streams while I'm at Universal. So stay tuned.
That'd be really awesome. All right. And Culture Casino, the man who's for some reason always right by the shit every single time. Every single time for the last 3 or 4 weeks, he's been right by it. I think even longer than that. I don't know how that keeps happening, but man,
Yes.
I appreciate you putting up with it.
I don't care. Anyway, it's just great to be here. Please subscribe to my friends. They're all great people. Reina Creole, she is the busiest person I've ever seen on YouTube. I'm trying to catch up and be as busy, but boy, she just keeps adding shows. And then Justin is, despite being a working man, does a great job providing content and this lovely live show every week that I love to be on. And Wes Moody is I'm almost a partner in crime now. We are busy together often, and I enjoy everybody here. I enjoy being on everybody's channels, and it's a privilege. But more importantly, I appreciate all of you out there, because without you guys in the chat and everybody that subscribes to our channels and follows us, we wouldn't exist. This is the most fun I've ever had with a hobby. And while I'm sure that someday I might be monetized and be able to eat on this, that's not my goal. My goal is to be here and hang out with people that I enjoy, people of like minds, and even those that disagree with me sometimes. But I appreciate you all, and just remember that you guys are what makes this happen. So thank you.
Well said, man. And it's always a privilege to have you on as well. And everyone else on the panel, everyone in the chat who likes this show and just actively watches it and partakes of the chat and everything. You guys are amazing. And Christie, you've been an awesome mod tonight. Thank you so much for sticking around. Last but certainly not least, Wes Moody of the Wes Moody webcast. Sometimes I get that screwed up a lot, but hopefully I keep getting better at it. I'm used to it now, but every now and then I'll slip up. But anyways, man.
We're not using podcast.
Yeah, thank goodness. Anyways, man, tell the people what you got going on.
I'm Wes Moody of the Wes Moody webcast, and I talk about pop culture, current events, occasional conspiracy theories, occasional retro gaming streams, and I will vlog about whatever the heck I want to, because it is my webcast. I would be honored if you'd consider subscribing to me over on YouTube. /Wes Moody webcast. I'm doing Trekking on Tuesdays at 10 p.m. Pacific time. I'm doing whatever Wednesdays with Culture Casino at 8 p.m. Pacific time. And then I have a little show called Conspiracy at 10 p.m. on Fridays Pacific time. Hope to see you there. See ya.
All right.
Yep. And my name is Justin Proper. Thank you for coming out today. Next week, it's going to be 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. As always, I think I accidentally said Pacific Standard Time a little bit earlier in the stream. Whoops. Yeah, thank you all for coming in today. Really appreciate it. And as always, live long and proper. And have a great fucking day, everybody. Peace and love. Are we all doing this?
There you go.
All right, see you guys.
Well, thanks to the lame ass security, I'm going home.